Michigan Magazine is kept on the road by our many Michigan friends. Cops and Donuts Bakery, downtown Clare, a winning combination. Cops and Donuts. There's adventures around every turn, and if you're looking for something for you and the entire family, be sure and visit the Cedar Valley Golf Course and the Wild Frontier Fun Park on Weaver Road in Cummins. Play 18 holes of world-class golf at the beautifully maintained golf course, Cedar Valley, tucked away amongst the hardwoods of northern Michigan, and at the same time, let others in the family enjoy themselves at the adjacent Wild Frontier Fun Park with carnival rides, a batting cage, bumper cars, and a 19-hole mini golf course. Check them out online. It's a northern Michigan destination. The Michigan-made rebounding mailbox pole. Never again worry about the winter snowplow taking out your mailbox with this ingenious rebounding pole. Your mailbox takes a hit and keeps coming back year after year. Call now or visit their website, toughmailboxes.com. Coming up, it's Sweet Michigan Memories as we visit historic Sugar Island. Then we open our eyes wide to welcome the opening of Michigan's cider mills. Autumn's coming, and we have the scoop on Michigan's sweet apple orchards and cider mills. It's coming up on Michigan Magazine. The Cedar Tavern and Grill of Lupton, where friends come to meet friends and families come for delicious food and a wholesome atmosphere. Come relax with your favorite beverage or bring the crew for a great meal and live entertainment. It's happening now at the Cedar of Lupton. Clemix Sales and Service on Mapes Road, west of Mile, your complete recreational vehicle sales and service connection. Visit their beautiful showroom of new and pre-owned ATVs, lawnmowers, power equipment, snowmobiles, utility vehicles, and more. Clemix Sales and Service is also the home of the American-made Victory motorcycle line on display at Clemix on Mapes Road, Mile.
On two previous editions of Michigan Magazine, we took you to the sweetest island on the Great Lakes, Sugar Island. Our first visit was with Betty Soders, outdoor writer and year-round resident of Sugar Island. Then we shared with you our visit with author Bernie Arbick, who had written a book called The Sugar Island Sampler, a collection of bits and pieces of Sugar Island historic past. On this edition of Michigan Magazine, we return to continue our visit with Betty Soders, who introduced us to more Sugar Island heritage as she introduced us to other island residents. And this gentleman right here is?
This is Harold Moore, and he is our township treasurer.
Glad to meet you.
How you do?
All right.
I started coming up here in 1950 with a friend of mine.
Okay.
And
the early days.
yeah, there was the south end of the island had no power yet and no telephones.
Wow.
In 1950. So
Now that's what you call primitive. In our day, I mean, where the world is today.
well, we lived in his grandma's cabin down there for the summer, and wound up going out, and we pretty much lived off the land. We caught fish out of the river and shot some partridge.
Good fishing?
Yeah, you could just cast out from shore and catch all the pike you wanted at that time.
Really?
Yeah.
Changed any since then?
A little bit. It's a little tougher getting them now.
Yeah. So you live on the island all year now, throughout
right.
the winter and through the summer. Where a lot of the snowbirds would be in Florida, you hang right in here and stick it out.
Well, I bought a cabin that was built in about 1906, and it's been remodeled, and so we live right by the river. We're probably front porch is probably 30 feet from the water.
Oh, well, that would be nice. I bet you see a lot of activity, especially in the water during the summer months. The big ships come through, do they? Or
yeah, they were in the shipping channel side.
Oh, that's interesting.
The up, down, the bound ships.
So Sugar Island was named by the Indians?
The Indians used to do a lot of maple sugar because of the maples here. They did a lot of maple syrup processing, and they got named Sugar Island because of the
maple syrup.
amount of
made sugar.
Yeah, the Indians used to sell whitefish and maple syrup and maple sugar to anybody that wanted it up here. It's quieter here, and there's no street lights, no traffic lights, and we have a low crime rate.
Any historical landmarks here on the island that we should know about, Harold?
Well, the one of the only governor that was elected from the Upper Peninsula is buried on the island on the south end, and he donated quite a few acres of property to the University of Michigan, and his old one of his cabins that the University of Michigan students use is still being used, and there's a caretaker there that takes care of the property.
Okay.
And then he and his wife are buried right out on a point of the island with the Boy Scouts made a path up there and marked it with red stones so you can walk up there and see it. His name was Chase Osborne.
Okay. Chase Osborne, governor. What number was he?
Well, yeah, he was around 1912, I think.
Okay.
He's written up in the book here, I'm sure.
What is it that that you see? Is there much in the future for Sugar Island as far as commercializing the island?
No, since the last census, the year-round residents grew about 400 in 10 years.
In 10 years, my Lord.
So it just about doubled, but it doesn't look like there's ever going to be any economic development here. At one time, there was a resort operator at the other end of the island. His name was Gil Nelson, and he when they were going to build the United Nations, he promoted it, having it on Sugar Island.
Oh, really? I didn't know.
And he was going to make a bridge coming across from the mainland to Sugar Island to Canada.
Yeah.
And the stop-off would be on Sugar Island.
Yeah.
And so he promoted it pretty heavy, but it just never made it.
Yeah. So your population all total here is what for the year? I mean, year-round.
It's 780, I think, now, the last census.
Okay.
That's a year-round, but during the summer it about
comes up.
triples at least on the thing. It's just unbelievable during the summer. You know, people ask us, what in the world do you do all winter? Well, if you like the outdoors, there's always a season that you can do something up here.
Give us a little example of what happens around here. Say, like, I would think, most of the people here on the island would fly south, but you have school kids that do they commute to between here and the Sioux, or do they?
There's roughly 60 kids, I think, on the island. They all take a bus now. They have busing, and they all go to town to school.
Okay.
Yeah, school's on the island, but
all right.
Now they're all bused uptown.
Bus them across. Okay. What do you do for the community here in particular? I mean, this is a gathering place. I'm told on Sundays or Saturdays you can come in here and you see a whole bunch of people telling stories and doing things, but what do you do?
We do a lot of events. There's a group of people that put together some pool tournaments, and we do them once a week throughout the year, and the money's used for the youth group, and it goes to different projects. If it's around Christmas time, it'll go to the kids' Christmas party or Easter parties or whatever event's going on at the time, or if somebody has a mishap and a fire or whatever, we'll raise some money for them, whatever need be. There's a new group we're just working on right now. It used to be a music fest for about,
music festival, you say?
Yeah, every year for about 10, 11 years. And the first two were down at the Sugar Shack area, and then they moved up to the church grounds for the next about 8 years. And then it was for an emergency road project.
Okay.
And now we're doing it, putting it back together. The road's done. They ended it about 2 years ago, so we're reviving it, and solely for community projects. Whatever's raised goes right into a township fund and is used just for community projects. And that'll be this year in August. And it's a music fest. There'll be
is it all day or all
camping?
weekend?
It'll be all weekend. It could start as early as Thursday, but it goes Friday till Sunday.
Okay.
There's camping. There'll be vendors, food, and all kinds of things that people make. There'll be music.
Handcrafted stuff?
Handcrafted.
What kind of music in particular? Is it bluegrass, a mixed bag of everything?
It used to be
light hillbilly,
strictly non-acoustical. Now I guess they're going to do a realm of country western, some rock and roll at different periods. They're going to schedule it in a lot of bluegrass.
The people come up here they're looking for seclusion and what? What are they looking for?
Peace, I think.
Just peace and quiet.
Quality of life. That's why I came here, and every day I've been here. I've been on the island for about 12 years, and there's a day I wake up, including this morning,
and thankful that you're here.
Thankful that I'm right here.
Yeah. You got plenty of friends and neighbors here that if something happens, there's a tragedy, you're all there.
Everybody helps. So it's a great place to come and visit, and I think anybody that would want to come would be welcome.
Yeah. Hey, come on up to Sugar Island. Beautiful place to be. A lot of things to do.
Michigan Magazine is being brought to you in part by Cops and Donuts Bakery, downtown Clare. What began as a crazy idea among 9 police officers to purchase the historic Clare City Bakery quickly became an international phenomenon, carrying on a Michigan tradition with delicious donuts, pies, pastries, breads, original coffee, and more. Plus a full menu at the new adjacent Traffic Stop Diner. Downtown Clare, a winning combination. Cops and Donuts. Experience the beauty, artistry, and taste of northern Michigan. Come to Amish Country Natural Products on Mount Tom Road, north of Mile, just off M33. From arts and crafts to fresh foods and vegetables, all natural, all local, all good. Stop by and get acquainted with Amish Country Natural Products, 1454 North Mount Tom Road, Mile. It's back and making memories for a new generation. The Rustic Inn of Lewiston, now open with hot, delicious food, your favorite beverage, and an atmosphere that'll keep you coming back to make new memories and new friends. The new Rustic Inn on Red Oak Road, just south of Lewiston. The Christmas of an autumn day in Michigan brings with it the Christmas of the Michigan apple. And with the Michigan apple comes the sweetest, most delectable taste of all, Michigan apple cider. The combination of autumn, apples, and cider is an irresistible one that will necessitate a family day at the cider mill. A trip to a Michigan cider mill has become more of a family event nowadays. Over the past years, the popularity has created cider mills that truly make a visit something everyone will remember. Besides watching the cider being pressed, many have other attractions to keep the excitement and the nostalgia at the forefront. If you're a Michigan cider mill connoisseur or would simply like to partake of that decades-old tradition for the first time, there's a Michigan couple who have taken it upon themselves to make the experience a pleasurable one. Through the travels of Jim and Bev Parker in a new guidebook called Sharing My Experiences, a simple guide to fun and affordable one-day family drives, you'll find dozens of Michigan cider mills and orchards from the UP down to Michigan's southernmost areas. We caught up with author Jim Parker at Porter's Cider Mill in Goodrich, Michigan, unique in the fact that you can draw super fresh apple cider right from the spigot.
It's just something that started years ago with my wife Bev, and when our kids were small, something to do with our kids to have wholesome family fun on a limited budget.
Right.
But then years later it became a hobby with me, and now it's a serious hobby that I'm trying to see every place that sells apples or makes cider in the state of Michigan.
So it's got a special meaning for you as far as very good memories.
Yes, it
cider
does.
Mills.
Yes, it
this
does.
one specifically does. Tell us a little bit about where we're at here today.
Well, at Porter's, when I was a little boy, like it says in my book, when we'd play baseball, a bunch of us guys that stay together even 30 years later, 40 years later. When we'd play ball in the neighborhood, the people in the neighborhood knew us and liked us as kids, and when we got thirsty, we'd get to go drink water right out of their spigot, out of their hose.
Okay.
Well, at Porter's here, they still will draw your cider right from a spigot. Mm-hmm. And it's kind of neat because you can fill your glass up or you can fill your jug up with cider from Porter's, and it's very tasty and very good. I list my favorites, which, of course, like anything, everybody has their own favorites, and Porter's is one of mine, and that's one of the reasons. Plus, they have good cider.
Yeah, and the setting here is really rural and really nice,
Yes,
too.
it's pretty.
But this, you made it, was one of your top 10, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
What would be the most favorite of all the cider mills in the state of Michigan? Or is that an unfair question to ask you?
Well, I have.
You have several favorites?
Yeah, I have several favorites, but the place I like, because she has old-time antique heritage apples, is called Kilcherman's,
Okay.
up in Northport,
Okay.
which is up in the Leelanau Peninsula. John and Phyllis are wonderful people, just like all these people are. You know, if you take the time to ask them about their place and about their history, they'll be glad to do it with you. That'll not only make their day, but it'll give you something to share with other people, like I'm trying to do with others through my book.
How long ago did you start this book, Jim?
About 1.5 years ago.
And you've got all this compiled already. I mean,
Yep.
this is from notes you've probably been researching for quite a few years now.
Yep, I've been doing this for over 30 years. Patrick O'Connor, who was past marketing director of the Michigan Apple Committee, he said to me, which I thought was in a kidding way, because Patrick and I like to joke around, he said, "Jim, you had to write a book. There's so much in your head." Like I said, I thought he was kidding. Well, about 1 year later, I said to him, I said, "You were kidding, weren't you?" He said, "No, sit down and write a story.
Right.
Write a story about one place." So I did. I wrote about Eastman's apple orchard up in Wheeler. He's probably got the biggest orchard in Michigan. He boasts that he has 1,700 different kind of apples.
Wow.
I've been there. He got Snows, which are my favorite. It's a small apple, very sweet, snow white inside, where it gets its name. And like I said in my book, they're small. You can put them in kids' lunch boxes. They're better for them than a candy bar. You know, it's just been a lot of fun for me, and that's why I want to pass it on to somebody else. Now I'm doing it again through my grandkids and my nieces and nephews.
Well, Jim, as we're sitting here at Porter's, I noticed specifically that there's a little more than apples here. I mean, you have a petting zoo perhaps here at Porter's, and that's pretty much consistent throughout other apple orchards and mills throughout the area, isn't it?
Yes, and with like anything in America now, you have to offer a lot of things to draw people out. And that's what a lot of places have done, which is great. Some places have pony rides. Like you said, most places have a little petting farm where kids can go up and feed the animals. I myself like the old-time people. You know, the old ones. There's a fella, Bob, in Flint. His place is called Apple Lane. And, of course, he's got snow apples, too, so that's another reason I go there. He's got Grimes Golden. He's got Tallman Sweets. Those are old-time apples. But I mentioned in my book that Bob's got an old barn stock full of memories. You just got to go there and talk to him and let the memories come from him and just listen to the place. And that's the ones I like. But I understand when I take my grandkids someplace, they want to have fun, too, except with Grandpa getting apples and cider.
Right, right.
Yeah.
And a lot of these, most of them, maybe all of them are family-owned operations.
Yes, they are.
They did go back away. Do you know what the oldest one is that you have visited as far as?
The oldest continuously working cider mill is Dexter.
Okay.
Yep. Dick and Catherine Kaziski are very, very nice people. And they were very helpful with Bev and I when we started on our book, because Catherine wrote a beautiful cookbook. And they spent an hour of their time on a morning with Bev and I to give us tips on what we should do and what we shouldn't do. And something like that, you know, that's invaluable.
Well, it certainly did pay off. You'll find Jim Parker's Guide to Michigan Cider Mills invaluable. It's perfect for the family with its planning tips and the user-friendly way the pages and locations are categorized. Find an area, find a cider mill. It's just that easy. We thank Jim for taking the time from his busy schedule of visiting those wonderful orchards to tell us about his project. I know we'll more than likely cross paths with the Parkers along those autumn side roads. When the brisk, bright fall days come our way and our thoughts turn to apples and cider, we'll turn the pages of Sharing My Experiences by Jim Parker. Hale Hardware, your do-it center in Hale, Michigan. Much more than a regular hardware store, providing everything you need for whatever your project is, along with a knowledgeable sales staff to get her done. Serving Northern Michigan since 1946. Hale Hardware, south of M65 at Ainsley in Hale. Hingeman Acres, Canoe Livery and Resort on M33, just north of Mayo, catering to the outdoor enthusiasts. Cabins, canoes, kayaks, rafts, and more. Daytime or overnight trips along the world-famous Asabo River. A family getaway for over 75 years. Thanks for joining us again along Michigan's back roads, off the asphalt grid, so to speak. Here's where you'll find the true Michiganders, proud of their heritage, protective of their family and friends, and ready and willing to stand up for their God-given rights and responsibilities. That's the common thread stretching not only through Michigan, but through all of rural America. With that said, we salute all rural Americans and thank you for sticking to your values and dreams. Have a great week. We'll see you next week for another edition of Michigan Magazine. We'd like to thank all those that help keep Michigan Magazine on the road. Cops and Donuts Bakery, downtown Clare, a winning combination. Cops and Donuts. Shopping for that special person just got easier when you shop at Rose City Drug at 2640 North M33, just south of the Rose City city limits. You'll find gifts for everyone on your list from 1 to 100. Shop online or in person at Rose City Drug, Rose City. Rose Valley Winery on Beechwood Road in Rose City. See what thousands are raving about, creating a delicious variety of award-winning Michigan wines. Stop by and taste for yourself. The taste of Michigan is yours at Rose Valley Winery.